All right, so I've been pumping for a while, and it's not uh, getting solid anytime soon. Usually, when the system's empty, it's full of air, that's bound to happen. What happens is the fluid's coming down slowly, and there's so much air that the air just keeps it wanting instead of going down, it wants to stay up. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just basically I have my line on the bottom closed already, so I'm just pumping the lever here. You actually see bubbles coming out just from pumping the lever. And I actually have I have it leveled. I have the handlebar angled so that way uh, the fuel hole is just at the top, and this angle here, so that way it's easier for the air to go. So if I rotate this handlebar the other way around, the fuel hole will actually be it will be lower. The fuel hole will be lower than where the joint is, and definitely air bubble will get caught right there. So you have to make it so that way the air bubble has a free path of going all the way to the top. So that's what basically that's what this is right now. And you can see just from pumping the lever, and you see all the air bubbles coming out. So I think my caliper is pretty much, for the most part, the caliper itself is pretty much full of fluid already, because not much air is coming out from the caliper anymore at all. I think it's just all caught up in the line coming up. So you just pump this like so until you have not much air coming out anymore from here. Then you will start feeling the lever start to feel firmer a little bit. That's when you know to go back to bleeding from the bottom. So right now it's still real soft, no resistance at all. Basically, the only resistance is from the spring in the master cylinder itself. Ooh, I can start feeling resistance now. A little bit, yeah. Starting to feel resistance. Okay, more and more now, actually. My lever here is actually, earlier, the lever will actually hit the grip. Now it's not hitting the grip anymore. See that? It's getting firmer and firmer here. Oh, it's even less now. Look at that. It's not even, oh, look at that. So that's when I know, okay, I'm almost done here. So let's look back here at the hole. It's not really bleeding out air anymore. See that? That's when I know I could go back into the back down into the nipple, the bleeder from there. So it's pretty solid right now. I don't see any air coming out from this side, from the top side. And you really can only get this where the air coming in from the top here is if the caliper itself is pretty much full of fluid. If the caliper still has air in here, it doesn't want to, it doesn't want to bleed. The air doesn't want to bleed, come out, bubble up from the top. The caliper has to be full of fluid. Once the caliper is full of fluid, then whatever air is in the line, if it doesn't want to go down, it will, make its way up to the top. So basically, that's what I had. That's what happened a moment earlier. So there's not really much air coming out here anymore. I can still see tiny little bubbles here and there, but my level feels pretty solid now and feels consistent. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna level this back out. I'll level the reservoir back out. So I think I could go back to bleeding it normally, like you would if you were to bleed your brakes normally. So let's level back out. I'm gonna top this back up in a moment. Go back down here. Start doing this again. So let me top off the reservoir again. Reservoir's topped off. Let's get this back going again. Right here. So solid. See that air bubble coming out? So there's still some air bubbles. Alright. Pump it a few times. Hold it. Open up. Set some air bubbles. Close it. Let go of the lever. Pump it a few times. I usually pump it at least 3 times. Hold the lever. open up this nipple. You see some air coming out. Close the nipple. Then you can let go of the lever and just keep on repeating that until there ain't no air coming out here anymore. So whatever air is coming out here is very small and very fine, so you don't have any big bubbles anymore. And when you do this, pay attention to your reservoir level, because it doesn't take that many. So once it starts doing this, that's pretty much for the most part of continuous flow of fluid. It doesn't take much to empty out your reservoir. Probably like a dozen pumps and your reservoir will be empty and you're sucking air. So I like to go like, oh, I don't know, like no more than 10 times before I top up the reservoir again, which I'm about to do. So I'm top off the reservoir now. So my fluid head looks pretty solid. I don't see any air coming out at all now anymore. So I might call it good now, I think. I'm gonna do one more tilt, just in case if there's air on the top of the line at all. Oop, there's some bubbles at the top of the line. It's a little bit. So I'm doing the tilt right now. It's tilting. I'm gonna lead it from the tilting point. Move this out again this way. So you see air bubble coming out because that the tilt makes the nipple become the highest point. Because when the reservoir was leveled, this was kind of leveled. It might not necessarily be the highest point, because now it is. Same thing with the reservoir, where the bleed hole is. Now it's for sure it's the highest point. That's what you really want. Leveling out the reservoir just helps with, filling up the fluid. You get more fluid in that way. So the level feels even more solid now than it did before. It's actually oh, see that air bubble there? It's actually not even hardly moving at all now with each press, with each squeeze. But the only bad thing about doing this like this way is that I still saw some air there. That you can't fill the reservoir up too much, unfortunately. Okay, so I actually need to fill up the reservoir again. Shit. Oh, fuck. God damn it. That's the reason why I don't fill up the reservoir when it's like this. It tends to overflow, which just happened. God damn it. And there wasn't much fluid either. I just barely gave it a little bit of something and it freaking overflowed. Damn it. That's a freaking mess now. Oh shit. almost full. Almost. Still see a little bit of coolant here and there. So I'm gonna top it up again. This time I'm gonna get the reservoir slightly level, not fully. That way I hold a little bit more fluid and it doesn't spill everywhere on me. Okay, one more top off, I think I'm good. I just want to make sure that you get every bit of air out there. Oh, still soft air bubble, so maybe I'm not so good. I need to tip this thing again. Rotate it. Nope, I can't rotate it no more. It's gonna spill out at the top. Some more. Oh, see that? I still saw some air bubbles. Bring it back. Top it up some more. So you see how kind of slow going this is, and that's just the way it is. So you got to be patient. Top it off some more. Shit, I hope I have enough brake fluid. That container wasn't full when I started. That's pretty good. This last one. Full tilt again. Full tilt. See if I see anything. Yeah, I think I'm good. So one more squeeze to see what happens. Yeah, I'm gonna call it good. Okay. I'm gonna call it good. I didn't see any more air bubbles there, so I'm gonna top it off again. But this time I'm not gonna get it anywhere near the full mark. So you're looking here, you actually see there's like a line right there along where the tip of my fingernail is, the casting line. That's basically your top. You don't fill it up any more than that, because if you fill more than that, when you put the you put all this stuff back in, it will actually overspill. So go no more than that. Maybe even a little bit below that, because this thing is actually not leveled. It's actually kind of, you know, from side to side it's leveled, but from front to back it's not. It's actually more angle like this. So so I'm actually not going to get to that fill point. I'm just going to get to just below that fill point. I'm going to do it with two hands so that way I have more control, so I have to put this camera down. Okay, so now you can see where I'm at. You can see that, so I'm just below that line, the casting line. So I'm going to call that good there. I'm gonna call that full. and I'm just gonna cap it off. You know, shut everything up. And this is already, this right here has already been tightened down. Yep, it's already been tightened down. So let me tighten it a little bit more. That's it. It's not moving. Now I just need to put all this stuff back together. So all this stuff right here. So wipe this clean, and get this accordion thing back to where the way it should be. So it's been stretched out right there. That's because that was when I had emptied it out the reservoir. I pumped it out. So this thing's like kind of like an accordion. It expands out, take up the space, but still be airtight. You know. So let me wipe it off. Okay, so it's clean. So it's just, so basically the way that it's supposed to be is like that, right? So as the fluid goes down, this thing will take up the space instead of having air in there. There's not supposed to be air, so this thing will expand down, and so on, right? So that's good there. I think it's pretty much capped here. And you want to find a wipe on the top here. I don't want to have any fluid on the top. Not too worried about the sides. Get the sides. I mean, I'm gonna splash this thing with. I'm gonna splash this thing with water to rinse off any residual break. Let's see, this thing symmetrical? Yeah, symmetrical. Looks symmetrical to me. Let's try this way. Doesn't make a difference, I don't think. Yeah, same thing. Okay. So since I didn't fill my line to my casting line, I should be okay. I shouldn't have any problems with once I put this thing all back. I shouldn't have any spillage from the side. Usually when you fill it past the casting line and you tighten this up, it will spill from the side. So I have a little bit of fluid coming out. You see that? That's not because I overfilled it. That's because there's an air bubble taking up the volume from this from the accordion piece. Damn it! I hate it when that happens. Yep. It's air bubble. Let me reinsert that in there. Take this off. See, it's all wet there, right there. So this accordion piece has, you know, when I push it in, it had air bubbles. And a little bit of air bubbles. Let me actually tilt it a little bit, just a little bit. Hopefully I could get the air bubbles to come out from the top side, from the higher side here. Level it out again. Yeah, it was kind of too late. Yep. Once it starts to spill out, it's kind of too late. It just kind of keeps on doing it. I should put even less fluid in there. I think I could have got away with even less fluid. I should pump the brakes one more time just to bring the level down. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pump the brakes one more time to bring the level down. One more pump, bring the level down so it doesn't overflow like that. I don't like it when it overflows like that because it, you know, the brick, again, if brake fluid wasn't corrosive, I wouldn't worry about it, but it is. So I'm gonna pump it one more time, bring the level down a little bit. I can put this on. Before I do that, I'm gonna wipe this down again. I'm getting eaten alive here by bugs. Hot summer day, all the bugs come out. So wipe this top mating surface. Have to wipe the accordion piece again because I don't want the cap mating surface to be wet. Okay, so the video is getting long-winded, but you gotta be thorough. But when you do this, you don't want to make a mess or introduce things that they're not supposed to be there. Okay, so everything's wiped dry. Trying to get this so that way, afraid I'm getting fluid spilling out. Hopefully that one pump is enough. I don't have to do more than that. Okay, like this piece. Okay, yeah, it looks like it. So now I'm pushing down this plastic piece. I don't see any fluid coming out at all. So that's good. That means I'm good there. Now I just put my cap back on. Actually, it doesn't really matter which way you put the cap on. You know, there's the little words there. It doesn't really matter which way, but I think it's supposed to be, or at least I think how Honda had it was, you should be able to read it when you're in the you know, in the cockpit position, you know, sitting on the bike. And when you guys do this, make sure you use a Japanese screwdriver, you know, a JIS, Japanese Industrial Standard screwdriver, and not a Phillips. A Phillips will booger up your GIS screw heads. There is a difference. They look the same from the eye point of view, but there is a difference between the two. And you can watch my Japanese unobtainium screwdriver video, and I talk about that. I talk about what the difference is. So I'm just basically fingering tight like this. That's it. A little bit of time, a little bit of time. That's it. Okay, spin it tight. Wipe around here. So remember, this thing's already been tightened. So remember, the last thing you need to do once you button all this up is wherever there was brake fluid that touched the bike, just splash it with water. I usually just take a bucket of water with like a little cup. I just basically pour it over every spot that had brake fluid touching it to rinse the brake fluid off, because brake fluid is corrosive and it will eat paint. So if you leave it, you know, just because you wipe it dry doesn't mean it is. So it will eat your paint. So be mindful of that. You don't want to mess up your paint. You know, you gotta rinse it off. So I'm gonna wipe it down as much as I can. Then I'm gonna just rinse it off. I'm gonna do that off camera. Also, other thing, if you guys, for the guys that have air compressors, the nipple in here, there's brake fluid in there. After you rinse it off with water, all this stuff, get your air compressor line and spray into the nipple in here, because the brake fluid in there, over time it will also corrode too. I've seen lots of nipples corrode from the inside of the nipple out, because, you know, people just left the brake fluid there and they didn't, you know, and it actually got corroded over time. So, you know, so spray the air hose down there so that it sprays everything out, and rinse it off again with some water, and repeat that. And I usually do it, you know, at least twice, if not 3 times, because I want to make sure all the brake fluid residue is all gone. You know, so that way it's completely brake fluid free. Otherwise, you know, again, brake fluid is corrosive. It will eat the paint. So I need to rinse off all this here. I need to rinse off my rim. It had brake fluid on my rim. I need to rinse all that off, all this off. I need to rinse all this off. It was here. Rinse all this off. It didn't touch my tank, but it did touch some of the top clamp here and such. So I'm gonna basically just rinse off this whole front end here. That's why I don't like to use a garden hose, because, you know, I don't want to get the whole bike wet. I just want to get the spot that got fluid on it to be rinsed off. Okay, so that's it. So I'm done. Now my lever feels real tight. Let's see. Let's look at that. So it's right away. It feels tight, you know, pretty much right away. Like so. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.